At-home insemination can be a great, simple, and fun technique with really increased probabilities of conceiving. There's a lot that is underexposed, underpublished in the self-empowerment for single women and couples in conceiving right at home. And I want to talk to you about that today so you can be more proactive and excited and ready for your fertility, increasing your fertility potential. We're going to talk specifically about at-home insemination. There are many other things you can do to increase your fertility and your well-being and your partners, if you're doing this with a partner, over some time. And we can talk about that another time. But today, just the insemination techniques. What's very important to understand is a little bit about the physiology that we don't often pay attention to. The woman's cervix is the opening, or the neck, if you will, into the uterus, and it's at the end of the vaginal canal. What's really important is that the seeds, that we'll call them, the seeds get planted, I like this terminology, right up against the cervix. The cervix tends to, in a healthy and well woman, will have a certain kind of fluid during your ovulatory phase, which is before and during ovulation. This fluid well supports the sperm, not only to survive, also to feed, to be nourished, and to swim all the way up into the uterus quickly and easily. So we want to get the seeds as close up against the cervix as possible, which is something that isn't always spoken about, even with couples and their own sexual interaction, to be aware of this. Right now we're talking about an insemination that uses a certain kind of artificiality. There are ways we can get the seeds right up against the cervix for the maximum potential for conceiving. The simplest is to use the product is called the Instead cup. This is a menstrual cup made of plastic, and it is disposable. That can be used instead for catching the blood of the menstruation. The seeds can go inside the cup and bring that right up against the cervix. Once that's in place, the trick is to actually have it pressed up against the cervix and imitate the thrust of a man's presence, again, whether or not that's how you're planning to conceive. So there are various ways you can imagine that you want to, once the seeds are inside the cup and the cup's up against the cervix, that you can press or have the various ways include having a friend, partner, loved one, press the cup up against your cervix. Another very important ingredient that has been spoken about, has physiological as well as spiritual implications, is that the woman have an orgasm. During the time of orgasm, the cervix actually dips down deeper into the vaginal canal, opens, and then retracts in a contraction and sucks the seeds up. So once we have the Instead cup, or the menstrual cup, in place with the seeds inside, up against the cervix, and we're pressing it with a hand or another kind of perfect and appropriate tool up against the cervix, and we also have the cervix dipping down at the same time during orgasm to suck up the seeds. This is some very basic principles applied that can be used in the privacy of your own home or sanctuary, with a friend, with a lover, whoever you're comfortable doing your conceiving activity with. And it applies both for couples who have been trying to conceive. This may even be an improved method on their own normal sexual interaction, and it certainly applies for single women or women who are in same-sex relationships. The at-home insemination can be simple, can be fun, and very sacred